As a scientist, I can tell you that Sundays are only 24 hours long. But with NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV, you get every game every Sunday all in one place. That's upwards of 30 hours of NFL in one day. How can there be 30 hours in 24 hours, you ask? I have a theory. Magic. New users get NFL Sunday Ticket for 8 payments of $34.50 per month. Sign up at NFLSundayTicket.com. Local and national games on YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games excludes digital-only games and commercial use. Terms and embargoes apply. Availability varies.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
You're tuned into Auto Intelligence, live from Auto Trader, where data, tools, and your preferences sync to make your car shopping smooth.
They're searching inventory.
Oh, yeah.
They find what you need.
They're gonna find
and
it.
You can make a budget for your wallet to help you succeed. Pricing's precise and true.
So true.
It's smarter car shopping.
Ooh.
Just for you.
Oh, it's just for you. Ooh. Find your next ride at Autotrader.com. Powered by Auto Intelligence.
Back with another episode of Keeping Current with Kansas City. This is Dad Bell from the Kansas City Soccer Journal, with me, Kerry Robinson from the Kansas City Soccer Journal, and many other endeavors, and Daniel Sperry from the Kansas City Star. Kerry, I always say like you from many other endeavors or some variation of that. Do you like just want to say that because like what you guys do off to see the Wizards?
Yeah,
you can do it.
We're off to see the Wizards. This is a current podcast, and current is not putting us behind the shield yet. But we are on the sporting side. We're hoping to get more into the current, especially with playoffs happening for sure for this team. But just fun little social medias.
Yes, go watch, listen to what they do. They're fun. Some of it I don't understand because I'm old, but you know, Kerry makes fun of me all the time, so I just lean into it. Mr. Sperry from the Kansas City Star, how can people follow you and listen to you as if they don't know you already?
You don't want to listen to me, I tell you that. No, I'm kidding. Of course, you can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky. My two places you can listen to me here, and that's about it. Although occasionally I'll have TV appearances or on the radio, and I usually try and let people know ahead of time that those are coming. So,
and I am, as like everybody else, on Twitter and the BS app. All right. Current, another win. How many straight now is this? 8, something like that? 8 wins? Is it straight? 9? I've lost count, man.
It's a lot.
Oh, it's not straight because they had a draw in there. So,
yep. It's okay. It's 12 unbeaten, I believe.
Yeah, that sounds right. They had to draw 4 games ago against the Pride, the wonderful, non-controversial, not at all weird day of the game against Orlando in Kansas City.
The entire day of that game.
Yes. So that's the one game they did not win in the last 12. Or whatever the number is. 2-0 win at Bay FC. Man, it just seems very mechanical now. Vlaco should like help design manufacturing processes because they just put some machine like operation out there and scores, and they score, and they don't give up goals. What do you think?
I mean, it's effective, efficient, and plug and play. That's kind of the masterful aspect about this current team, right? More changes to the lineup. Every single week, it seems like somebody's getting a rest, someone's getting moved. Might be a quick injury where you have to completely change goalkeepers again, and your back line reshuffles, and yeah, it's still all the same result. And it's not, I don't know how to say it, it's not boring, but it is entirely predictable and inevitable across every single game right now. And that's what they have done. That's what they've created. They're a monster machine at the moment.
I know you did not get to see the game live, Carrie. What did you get upon rewatch?
I got to watch the first half. I do not know why NWSL on their own app, only puts out halves at a time. Stupid. So, but it was a very fun watch. I will say, even though I knew the results, it felt like shots were just getting fired probably like two minutes after 2 minutes after 2 minutes, and they were incredible saves from Jordan Silkowitz on some of those. There's also a goal line save as well. Um, so although I knew the scoreline, if I watched just the first half without knowing it, I would have assumed there'd be more goals than just the two that they got.
There easily could have been, and you mentioned how good Silkowitz was in this game. And if I would voting for a player of the match, I would have voted for the losing goalie in this case. Silkowitz was really damn good.
She had a
Sure.
7.3 rating on FootMob, which was higher than obviously any other player for Bay FC.
How about you, Sperry? Impressed with Silkowitz's effort there?
Yeah, she made a couple of really good saves. This one was kind of an interesting game. I mean, like the XG is high. It's 2.5. I don't know that there weren't as many big chances as I had like expected in terms of like really high XG opportunities for the current. Um, they had three, okay, I'll say this. They had three big chances, and a whole lot of good but not great chances. And the PSXG, of course, which is kind of measuring one will measure how likely the shot on target is the goal, or the shot on target is a goal. The two biggest chances ended up in goals. Anything below that was saved. I've actually really, if there's a save from Sokowitz that really impressed me, I think it's just like her ability to get to Temwa most of the time. There was a couple of 1v1 opportunities that she had on with Silkowitz, and Silkowitz saved all of them but the last one. And so I thought I was impressed with her shot stopping ability. I'll say this too, like it's not something that we haven't seen in training before too, against these very attackers, for the most part. So Silkowitz was solid. I didn't I the current scored two goals. They will say, "Oh, we should have scored more." I think they had a lot of opportunities to score more, but the shots themselves, the chances that they took and created, amounted to about two expected goals. So they did what they were expected to do, and they got their win and got out of there.
How about that goal late in the half for Michelle Cooper?
What an angle she had on that. I think she had kind of realized that again of course there were two defenders kind of trailing that back post. But I mean throughout that first half they had been trying to go for posts from that angle. Most of that half, and I mean every single one kept getting blocked by the defenders clogging up those middle lanes, and so I think she just found the right opportunity to try that near corner, and it went in.
Yeah, that's exactly what she said post game too. Was that she wanted to go far post, but she saw there's a center back and a fullback that's sitting there cutting out any of those shooting lanes and catches Silkowitz. I think maybe all you have to do is make the goalkeeper think you're shooting far post, and if you hit that hard and low enough, especially at the proximity that she did to Silkowitz, that was going to be a pretty unstoppable unstoppable shot. So a little cheeky placement from Cooper, but man, um, good from her. One of Cooper's best games since the break. Probably her best game since the break. All in all, she was really kind of back to the player that we had seen for large stretches at the beginning of the year in terms of like every single time she got on the ball, something dangerous, really dangerous for the opponent was happening.
Yeah, I totally agree. And that's what I was going to point out was it's been a few games since she scored a goal,
Hmm.
and she was not necessarily looking her best. But I think getting a little rest and not getting a couple of starts in there, I don't want to say it fired her up, but she got the opportunity to maybe just get in the right health or rest or whatever, and she looked really good this game.
Yeah. Yep. Um, I I don't know. I also wonder how much of it too had to do with like players that she knows how to play with too. You're still trying to work things out and playing regularly with Sentnor or Debinha's playing at striker. You're coming in off the bench and now it's like her and Nichelle Prince and, maybe B is coming out of the game and Mary Long's playing like that. There was a lot of times, as we mentioned, all the rotation that's happened in the squad since they kind of came back from the break, really. There's been a fair bit of it in every single game, and you saw her in this game back with the players that she was playing regularly with at the beginning of the season, which was Debinha. It was as the 10 and Bia as the striker and Temwa as the winger, and that rhythm. Haley Mace is the right back too, right?
Yep.
All those players, everything that's there. Haley Mace being a more defensive-minded right back despite being tied for the league lead in assists, a more defensively positioned right back maybe gives Cooper the freedom to attack a little bit more and freely and stay higher up the field than normal. So, um, all a great situation for Cooper to play one of her best games of the season on Saturday night.
Yeah, and
Well,
with
at
her
least,
being more comfortable with those players, I think Debinho, this was the game since we've seen her back that she's looked more like she did her first half before she got injured.
Mhm.
yeah, it was definitely her best one of the second half. I'm not sure about one of the best of the season because she's had some damn good ones in the first half of the season.
Maybe the last time they played Bay when she scored that free kick and a couple of other goals there, but yeah, no, I agree for sure. It's been the best time, her best game back for sure.
Yeah.
In that look, I also, man, I that might have been Rocky Rodriguez's best game in a current shirt too. She mopped up everything in the midfield, and the passes were so quick to just re-trigger and restart the attack. I thought, Claire Hutton is phenomenal. Lola Bonta, phenomenal. It's very hard to take them off, and a lot of times Rocky is coming into a game in a sub situation, or is a spot start. But that half from Rocky was really, really, really good from her in those 45 minutes.
Yeah, no doubt. Um, with all the rotation that Vlaco has done, do you feel like it's been more for just getting players a little more rest, or is it that he's getting everybody experience with everybody? You kind of brought that up earlier, like, players don't know that each other quite as well because they haven't played as much. Is it just giving them a chance to get in sync in game situations where you never know what might happen in the playoffs? So, I mean, he's using this time to actually build a better team instead of just running out the same players.
Can we say yes to all of it? Like yes, and like this is like all of it. I think it's twofold. And in the end, I don't know that it matters what is motivation for doing it, as long as the benefits that can come from it happen, then it's worth doing, right? So, um, if you're doing it because you're trying to rest players, well, it benefits because you get players more experience with each other in an actual game state versus just kind of training and repetitions, no matter how competitive your environment is. And if you're trying to rotate players and do that, then the players that if you're trying to find combinations and get people time and reps with each other in a game state, then guess what? You get to do that. You also get the rest. Like no matter what his principal reason for doing so is, he gets both edges of the sword.
Yeah, and I really do feel like he knows that he's doing both at the same time, and is very strategic of who he's putting out there and giving time together. Because it seems like it seems like each game it's two different players in the midfield forward lines, so they're just getting different rotations and sometimes a little bit different spot.
And I wonder too, also how much of it is them in their advanced scouting, like knowing this is the pictures that we're going to get from this opponent. So this is the game that it's better to throw this picture out against this picture that we expect to see from the opponent. I mean, I'm not putting it beyond them to be that detailed because that's how they operate. That's why they have a 14-point margin between them and second place.
Yeah. They are that detailed, and I do think that that plays a part in it also.
Yeah.
How about you, Carrie? You've been quiet for a second because Daniel talks a lot.
No, yeah. I mean, I
I'm just
think
giving Daniel shit. Sorry.
I
no,
I
but
had plenty of caffeine today, so I will do my best to like self-censor and like make sure the
No,
firewall
you were fine,
un
man. I'm just giving you
unplug
crap.
it and plug it back in,
No,
all
no,
that
no.
stuff.
wait.
Sorry, you were actually fine, dude. You did not really
Okay,
overtalk too much. We
Well,
just
now I've totally screwed it all up. So now go ahead,
yes.
Carrie.
hold on.
Now we
Well,
just keep talking over
actually,
Carrie. So I mean, you're doing it to me now. Oh my God, Carrie, please.
all right. Well, I actually have a question for Sperry. He will,
Oh, great. She
but
wants
he
me to
could.
talk more.
Yes, I actually have a question for Sperry. Okay. There was a VAR check in this game. That last week probably wouldn't have been called if this VAR check, this referee did it because last week you went on a spiel about how even though that the defender did not touch Temo Chwinga, they they dove. We'll say that she dove into a step where Temo would have been, but she jumped over it. In this case, Elizabeth Ball dives into a defender, and taps the back of their foot as they're running with it. How is that not a foul here, Sperry?
It 100% is.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing. And like looking at that, like you know, I made my joke on Blue Sky and that sanity prevailed here, but in reality, um, to me, I'd like it. I'll be dead serious in my own personal viewing of the game. I'd like it if neither of those were penalty kicks. But if one is, then both are. And that is where for me that I think the Current got away with that penalty in the first half, and I don't know that it would have changed much because Bay FC seemed pretty bunkered into their defensive third for like 90% of the game. But maybe it puts a little bit of pressure, changes the game a little bit if that call goes the right way. But this ref, I did not see eye to eye with a significant amount of the calls that they made during the game. They were very confusing in terms of what was a corner, what went out, off of who. Was that actually a foul? Was that not a foul? So it wouldn't surprise me if a blatant penalty kick got missed. So yes, the current uh, are the Kansas City Chiefs. Every call bounces their way, I guess, these days because it's a crazy, crazy non-PK call to give, especially while going to the monitor. Um, Man,
So
pro
Okay,
referees.
if
Okay,
you were
Mr.
gonna
Super
call,
Bowl loser.
Mr. What?
Super Bowl loser.
Yes.
Sperry is a 49ers fan. For anyone that's listening.
and
I
and
keep saying
a borderline Chiefs hater,
yes. I keep saying
Borderline.
Sperry and my phone keeps thinking I say Siri. Keeps going off.
call him Daniel.
No, that feels wrong.
I know it's hard to
There's too
break
many.
what you think of them as their name. So
I know.
You know what? I'm just glad that's what you think of my name as. So we'll keep it there.
Okay.
Daniel or Sperry or either instead of something
Both
else.
both of those, great. We don't need to like deviate or riff. So
Dan the
Okay.
man from the star.
mm, mm,
No, Dan the
Oh,
man
we
is
have to.
shallow E.
fills
I
me
was saying we have
fills me
to.
with
We have
joy.
to. We have to specify which one from the star from Sporting.
Yeah.
So back to the foul call or the non-foul calls, the non-PK calls. The one that you would have called if you were the ref would have been the one against Timwa and not the one that Ball committed.
No, I said I said in reality, if I was a ref, I would like that neither of them
Right. But if you're going to do
penalty
one of
kicks.
them,
If anything was a penalty kick, it was E-ball's challenge.
okay. I just want to clarify because I thought I heard that differently.
If I said it incorrectly, then
No,
you
no,
have the power to
it's
scrub it
fine.
from
No,
record, but
I'm not
no, I'm
scrubbing
just
it.
kidding.
It's conversation.
No,
Um,
I 100% intended to say that it is that it was it for me. If you look at the two incidents, it absolutely has to be E-ball's
right.
penalty kick.
Yeah. I could see the non-call against him, although I would have called it. I don't know. Depending on the day, I may have called it or not, quite honestly. But the one on Ball, I would have called. And
That's more cut and dry than the Temwell one because then you're just doing the interpretation thing of
right.
if that was a foul at midfield, then I'd call it a foul there. And you can do the same, you can apply the same logic to the E-ball one, and it still absolutely should have been a penalty kick. So
Yeah. And it would not be the first time that I have seen refs call things completely opposite of what I would have seen. I because a lot of times down there shooting the game, I see who got the last touch. I see who the ball went off of, and they call it the opposite a lot. Not saying that they're bad referees. It's just that they go off sometimes of what the prediction would be more than the reality. All right.
there's
Any other notes from that first from the win over Bay?
I thought Haley Mays had a good game, at least from the first half that I watched.
I don't know that I don't know that there's been a lot of times we can go after a game and say Haley Mays had a bad game.
Well, no, but I think that there are instances where there are people on the team that prevail more than others in games. So I'm just giving her flowers where she should get them, when she should get them.
Fair enough. And I believe, as Daniel said earlier, Haley is tied for the lead in assists in the league, along with a couple others, but one of them being Izzy.
Yep.
2 assist leaders on the back line.
Mhm.
I wonder why that could be. Could it be because they have a Chawinga and a Cooper and a Bia at times running at the offense, at the other team's
They
defense,
also
rather?
they also have players though that like part of their system is like putting significant amount of pressure and asking the opponents to defend in high stakes situations. And if you are that good at executing risky plays, then you're going to get a lot of rewards from it. And I also think too, like Haley Mace has always had very good service. Um, the passing game between lines, that's something that can be a different conversation for a different day. But her service in terms of putting the ball in the box, getting playing a ball in behind a back line, like those are things she does really, really well. Izzy Rodriguez from day one has been nails on service. I mean, that was one of the big things we saw from her even in like her rookie year, I think, in 22. She is sitting there like she'd come into a game late and they'd score off these like set piece situations because they had so many set piece goals late in games because Izzy Rodriguez was coming in and whipping in crosses and making dangerous things happen. I mean, there were a couple of times they subbed her on immediately cross goal for Hammy at the back post. It just that's her skill set. So does not surprise me that they have a high number. I think it surprises me that more players in that creative number 10 position, as that is a pretty deep position throughout the league, don't have more assists. Like that in all of this, that's probably more wild to me than Izzy and Haley having 5 assists and being tied for it.
Giving Carrie an opportunity to speak. What about Mace was really good?
She just, I don't know. I just felt
Don't
like
put her
she
on the
stood
spot.
out. Yeah.
I'm sorry for asking you a question. You should have seen. I mean, this was a good video that I would have loved to have the video of her just looking at me like, "Why'd you ask me that dumb question?"
Yeah, my speaker isn't
Okay, so
my
yeah,
speaker isn't working again.
yeah, that's it. All right, let's take a short break and we'll be back.
With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold, soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
This episode is presented by State Farm. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like expecting the leadership of a team captain on the football field, but getting a sea captain. You wouldn't settle for just anything for your team. Shouldn't it be the same for your insurance? So don't settle for just any insurance when you can go with a leader. State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I was deep in it, gaming on Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. Unfolding the screen made it twice as big and so immersive, I kinda lost myself. Might have trolled a little too close to the sun. Someone in the chat told me to touch grass, so I took my Z Fold 7 outside and kept playing. Still won, got a tan, and a nice little reset. Powerful processor, realistic graphics, you stay locked in, streak stays alive. Can your phone do that?
The new Galaxy Z Fold 7. Get yours at Samsung.com.
Hi, you're listening to the greatest radio station in the world.
And we're back. Current have a probably one of the toughest matches left in the season for the regular season coming up against the Spirit, second place, only 14 points behind them, so it's pretty tight. Before we get really into that game, what do the Current need to do to clinch first? I mean, they've clinched a playoff spot. They have clinched a playoff game at home.
Mm-hmm.
What do they need to clinch first?
Wait, based off results, if you have your magic number, Sperry, let me guess. Okay. I'm gonna say 7.
It's 8. So the Current, because right now no one else can conceivably win the Shield. With Portland did win, but they leapfrogged a few teams in the standings. San Diego losing creates a 5-point gap between second and third now. So in reality, we're looking at the Washington Spirit. The max that they can get from their remaining 7 games, they can get up to 56 points. That means if the Current beat them this weekend, their max can be only 53, and the Current will be on 52 points. So, oh yeah, it is 7. It could be. Is it 7? It's 7 or 8. I'm trying to think here.
I think it's 8 if you take into account that you have goal differential, but with the goal differential as it stands, reality is it's probably just 7.
Yes. So as long as the Current tie the Spirit, correct. It's 7, yes, is basically effectively won it. But that can be resolved basically by the Current, like the Current win the next 2 games. Congrats, you won the Shield. And if the Spirit, who do they play after the Current? If the Spirit go and lose to Angel City for some godforsaken reason, then of course the Current would also clinch the Shield in that manner. Even if the Current lost the game to Seattle afterwards. But to get that 6-point swing in their favor towards the overall magic number of 8, they must defeat the Washington Spirit head to head this weekend. And that would pretty much put them on the doorstep, which means that they definitely can't clinch it this weekend against the Spirit. They definitely could clinch it against Seattle.
Right. So
And they will have known whether or not they can clinch it against Seattle, because next weekend Angel City and Washington Spirit happens on Thursday, while the current game happens on Saturday. So they will know whether or not they need to
get a result at all.
Get a result at all to clinch the Shield. Yes.
It could already be clinched before the game
It could be
starts.
clinched before that, but they actually, yes. But they kind of need to win it too.
So what I'm hearing is that Friday is the travel day for the Shield.
Probably.
Will they be in house with the Shield?
Who's they?
Some official with the NWSL that carries it around with a set of white gloves and a pelican case.
Well, that would not be that doesn't sound like the commissioner. But
Well, and that's the question: is Jessica Berman ever going to show her face in Kansas City again?
She will. She will, and she'll have to do it this year. It's going to happen. So,
I think she probably will. Yes. I wonder what the distance between the Longs and Jessica Berman would be, though. Like, would they be on opposite ends of any photo op, or would they be flanking her with, pointed stairs? I don't know.
there will be a well between the two. This is a really poor attempt at making an Alex Cooper unwell joke. But good old Jessica Berman.
She will not be getting in the champagne that they pop after every win.
No, she'll probably drive across the bridge to the airport and leave the moment she can.
Immediately.
They might invite her into the club there
Oh,
and let
they'll
her
invite
stand
her
in
in.
front of the champagne bottle as Angie uses the blade to open it. I'm just kidding. I know it's not going to be that bad. Okay, we're talking crap but having a little fun with it. I'm sure they will all be extremely professional, because it would not behoove the ownership to show her up in public. It just would not be smart.
In a moment. Well, they've already done so through the New York Times. So we'll see how it bowls over in the long run. But yeah, I would expect Berman to be here for the Shield thing. And if she doesn't, then that's a really loud statement one way. But I would be absolutely stunned if, whenever the Shield is presented, Berman is not there.
Was she there when Orlando
Berman is
got it
there.
last year?
Sorry. Yes.
I don't remember because I just really didn't pay attention. But
yeah,
I would expect her to be, and if not, there will be a really good reason. She was, took ill or something. Anyway, not that that's good. Anyway, playing the Spirit. First of all, in order to win the Shield in 2 games, they need to beat the Spirit. Spirit are the only other team right now that's surging and looking good.
Yeah, they have not lost a game since June 15th, and that was against the Thorns.
Against the Portland?
The Portland, yes. But they have had a bunch of ties. Most notably 1-1 2 weeks ago against Chicago Stars.
Chicago can be somewhat dangerous at times.
Yeah, and Chicago is kind of on a run of themselves. Not a
Yeah.
winning run, just more of a tying run.
Except for defeating the life out of Orlando this weekend. My goodness.
It was a good match. We were talking about it.
It was a
at the
very
sp-
fun match.
We were talking about it at the sporting game because we kept getting notifications during the tailgate, and as we were wrapping up filming at my place, and I was like trying to get ready. I was using the restroom and I just got the notification and I screamed. And Isaac and Josh were like, "Are you okay in there?" I was like, "Yeah, it's just like 4-2 or 4-3 or whatever."
I don't know what I should say about that story. I really appreciate you, Carrie,
Yeah.
and the
I try
stories
to,
you tell.
yeah, I try to bring some good ones. You got to hear me sing yesterday in a story.
I know. That was very good. We
Thank
we
you.
need you to do some of those for the current now. Can you come up
I'm
with
not that I don't get the shield pass tickets for the current. If they do, if they were to reach out and drop a wristband or whatever, we could make some more fun.
would you have to change the name of your trio to off to see the Kansas City soccer teams in general?
No, we've done some current
But
videos.
what an acronym that would be. Off to see the Kansas City soccer teams in general.
Yeah, the
I
in general is also added to the acronym.
Yes.
In full text or or just IG.
If I had time to think about it, I would come up with something that had a little weirdness to the name, like, the acronym, but I did not have time to think of that. All right. The Spirit are playing well. What do we expect from them in the actual game? Not just our banter.
I mean, it goes without saying that it's going to be tough. They're the only team that has matched the Currents record as of late. That's the thing. They are also unbeaten in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Their last loss was against Portland back in June. And before that, they were on a 4. They had won 3 of 4. So, um, still a very good team. They do a lot of really good things. That Seattle team that they beat over the weekend is a very good team that they held to about 6 shots, and it dominated the possession over. So that should tell you just how. I should tell you how good that Spirit team can be when all things are firing. So, of course, the Current didn't face them with Trinity Rodman, but didn't not really with Trinity Rodman. So, I think it was after that game that she ended up going on her like hiatus for a little while, right, to deal with her back injury. So,
But she is back.
She is back, and she scored twice.
Yeah, the 2 goals against Seattle are Trinity Rodman goals.
Yep.
She is dangerous, even when she had a bad back. She's dangerous. So,
yep.
But just 3 weeks ago, they beat AFC 3-2. So
I'll say this: they did have the whole, we're playing in front of like 40,000 people at a baseball stadium thing going for them. So
there was that. They had a little extra crowd motivation.
I forgot about that.
But
it's the only way Bay's setting any records this year.
Yeah, this is a pretty darn good team.
If you thought goldenly breaded McDonald's chicken couldn't get more golden, think Golder, because new sweet and smoky special edition gold sauce is here. Made for your chicken favorites at participating McDonald's for a limited time.
Introducing the perfect companion to your morning listening routine. AG1's clinically backed formula is now flavor-packed with 3 new delicious flavors: tropical, berry, and citrus. Start the day on a high note with probiotics that taste like the tropics. Mix it up with micronutrients that taste like berry or citrus. And take it all the way back with the classic AG1 Original with notes of pineapple and vanilla. Do your health a flavor, or 4, with AG1 Next Gen, the daily health drink. Learn more at drinkag1.com.
Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contrast. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
This episode is sponsored by Friskies, who would like to tell your cats hi. Now, if that didn't get your cat's attention, there is one thing that always does the trick. Just pour some Friskies crunchy food in the bowl and you'll hear those paws come running. Works every time. With so many Friskies choices, you can always bring your cats running from their secret napping spots. There's always more to explore. See for yourself at friskies.com or visit your local store.
Deborah Abiod, I'm going to absolutely butcher her last name. Abiodun or Abidun. I'm not exactly sure how to say it, but as a defensive infielder has been really good for them in the last couple of games. 21-year-old player. I mean, she's got a lot ahead of her. Hal Hirschfeld is back in the midfield for them too. Was not there, I believe, when the Current played them earlier in the year as well. So there's a lot of good things. Sofia Cantor is playing striker. She's been good since she came over. It's gonna be a tough outing for the Current.
It will. Do you risk starting Robinson?
I think
I
this
only
is
say risk because she's not fully back, you could say, but
I wouldn't start her only because they need that. Well, because Sharples and Robinson have not played very much together. So I would not risk not having the chemistry there for Robinson not to start.
I think this is a game that you treat like a playoff game. And there's probably not a whole lot of goofing around per se with the roster. If they don't have to, they won't. They need as many of their best options available for this one. You don't want to let it's so unlikely that they end up not winning the Shield, right?
Right.
But what you don't want to do is let confidence drop by not getting a result in a certain way. And all that kind of stuff. And I think you gotta go at this one as seriously as you can.
and you don't want to give a potential playoff opponent the understanding that they can beat you in your own home this year. I think that's part of it as well.
Yep.
But you also run the risk if you do put your absolute best 11 out there and don't get a result, then Washington definitely knows that they can do something to you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that's a reason not to put your best lineup out there. Just saying that's always part of the risk.
Yep.
I do look forward to when Gabrielle Robinson is fully what you would consider back in game form. Because I do think she takes ball spot at that point. However, probably not yet. I just had to ask the question because topics.
Well, I think part of it is that if you do it, Robinson's left foot dominant. So she needs to be on the left side of the defense, which is where Kayla Sharples has been for the last almost a year and a half, maybe almost 2 full years, somewhere in there. And that, like, Kayla then has to go play at the right center back spot, and Robinson's in there, and it changes things. It changes the looks that you're seeing and all that stuff. And Sharples is on such a good run there that you hate to upset the apple cart a little bit. But you also at some point have to get Robinson in there and get her some full minutes. So I wouldn't be surprised if that look comes. I just think this is not the game for it.
It's probably not. I also want to throw out there, because I've always felt Ball is a really solid defender, but she'll make one mistake a game that can cost you a penalty, a goal. It just seemed like, there's been, like, when she was the best center back, it seemed like every other game she was part of giving up a PK. And that's probably not accurate the way I said that, but you know what I mean? And I just almost wonder if you put Mason there and give Ellie Wheeler the right back spot, because Ellie has also been part of shutting down some really strong attackers in the past because she's much more physical than Ball would be, because we know Mace can be that physical and fast. So just throwing that out there.
Yep.
Yep. And you got to have that speed on both sides for Trinity.
Yep. Because she can come from any direction. All right. Predictions? Look, scores, wins, losses, draws.
I want to say 2-1 Currents, but I could also see a 1-1 draw. But I'll go 2-1.
So they're going to give up a goal finally.
Yes.
Yeah. I think this is where the streak ends, but I'll say 3-1 Current. I'll say the Current know what's at stake and they come out guns blazing here, and take care of it. It may not be like dominant, pretty look like how they did against Bay FC, type 3-0 win, but it'll be a kind of play against the ball and force Washington into some situations they don't want to be in and go on the counter and smack them in the face a couple of times with some long ball from Temwa and all that kind of stuff. And like they usually do, Temwa, if you remember this too, the game in Washington, the Current absolutely feasted for the first like 30, 45 minutes and didn't finish anything off. And then in the second half is when it got nervy. They got their goals then in the second half. And that when Washington kind of pushed back. But I think this is one of those where the Current jump out, they get their lead. Maybe Washington gets one late to try and make things interesting. But I think this is a Current win.
I'm going to say 2 goals for Michelle Cooper.
2. Wow.
She wants to prove that she deserves that right wing spot on the national team.
Okay. I mean, it's going to be really hard to take that away from Trinity Rodman, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's some of that edge from her. So it'll be fun.
I don't think it's a total, like animosity kind of thing. It's just you want to be better and you want that spot. So,
yeah.
And yes, it would be hard to take that spot away from Trinity, but the only way you can do it is by outscoring her.
Yep.
Do you think that Emma Hayes has an appearance at this game?
I hope so. Gosh, I would be awesome to see her roaming around.
Yeah. Let me know if you do see her there. I want to get a shot of her like in the stands or in a booth or something.
Yeah.
I've seen some other officials there. I have shots of Vlaco when he was the national team coach up in the seats at Children's Mercy Park watching games.
Yep. I mean, I swear he had his own booth up there.
Well, there wasn't a whole lot of people up there.
There wasn't. It's a much larger press box. But if you can, there was definitely a booth that had the U.S. Women's National Team logo slapped on it. That was basically Vlaco's booth to watch all the teams come through town.
Yep. They have a lot more suites to be able to do that, though. So,
yes.
All right. Any other thoughts about this game?
I think the biggest thing. Sorry, one quick thought. Just stay healthy. Like ultimately, winning this game would be great for the Shield and getting you to clinch it sooner and blah 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 blah. But like, man, even if you're Orlando lost 2 games at some point last year, right? Like all that matters in the end is those playoff games, and all of that. So, I think you gotta know what risks are worth taking in this game, and that's about it.
Don't risk Temwa.
Well, good luck telling her not to play, but anyways.
When she's injured, she's still starting. So
yeah.
Who's your guys' midfield? Because I'm keeping what we had last week for the who do we play? Oh, Bay, the Bay game. Except I'm swapping Rodriguez out for Hutton. Are you benching Setner? Or are you benching someone else? Impossible
I
questions, really.
I am playing. If you ask me my midfield three in this, actually, I would go Sentnor. Um, I would go Sentnor. Uh, cut Hutton and Labonta. I think that would be my choice.
I think it's, almost definitely Claire and Lowe. The question after that, though, for me is, would it be Dabinia? Because Dabinia does put in a lot of work that you don't, we still don't, I still don't always think of her as being the really defensive worker, but she really does do a lot of that, and she knows the team better than Sentner. So I don't think Sentner is as good in the press right now, but she's getting there. So that's the only reason I say that.
Actually, I don't find Dabinia to necessarily be a pressing tackler in how she
She's not, but
defends.
she does get back and help
But
in
this
that
is what
regard.
this is what I think of when you have the type of midfield in the back line and you have the spirit that play the way that they want to play. Like her activity in terms of pressure along with Bia's will go a long way versus trying to like intercept the like Dabinia kind of reading the lines and picking off those passes to jumpstart.
Yeah.
That's where she's really good, is that ball recovery. But in terms of like not like frustrating Washington in their first and second phase of play, like that Sentnor is going to be the one that's going to do that in their first or second phase. And I think that's where last time the current were able to create a lot of havoc and mess by disrupting Washington's first phase of their build out. And that might be a big Sentnor piece that they need to use in those games. But that's something that Dabinia can also do, and she's played up high too.
Yeah.
So I'd also wonder if you get, it. I'm just because I'd say Alice Sentnor in the midfield doesn't mean I say no Dabinia in the starting lineup too. I think that would be a really force Terry McCown and Morgan to and Esme Morgan to defend nobody and just have a bunch of false nines out there. Good luck with that. Like that would be kind of funny. So
It would. And when I said Dabinia with helping with the press, I didn't really mean she's the physical presser like a Cooper or Tim Watt would be, or Bia even, but more is that she's in the right spots to shade people to the right direction that they get poached, and then she goes off.
Yeah.
So
she moves the play to a certain spot.
right.
I want to say this. I think that the midfield for this Washington team is a little bit closer to what we saw from that Portland team and how the makeup of the players and what they do as a team. And I am very interested in seeing the same look against that Portland midfield that absolutely dominated that Portland midfield, which is one of the best, if not the best in the league outside of the current in that department. So I would be really interested in seeing that midfield lineup. So that's it. That's my shot.
We will move on, but this game is very important because while it doesn't clinch the Shield, it does send a message about how the rest of the season will go and just the dominance of the
Wait,
current.
did Carrie answer her own question?
No, well, did you?
Yes.
You did?
She said the same. She said the same as last week, except she would swap out.
Oh, that's right.
Rocky for Claire.
She just said it in
I listened.
fewer words than I did. That's right.
Well, Sperry also reiterated Washington's last loss, and I was over here like, what about me? I just said that. He does not listen.
Sorry.
Sperry, listen to women.
I do. I have a house full of them. That's all I have. That's all I do.
Two of them can talk.
The other one yells and screams and still have to listen. It's just the difficulty of ascertaining what they are yelling and screaming at me about.
Yeah. I got some stories to tell you, but it's not for this pod. It's other entertainment. All right. What has happened around the league? It feels like there's been some interesting news the last week or so. Let's just start with. I know it happened last week, but Chicago, right? They get a stadium. They're gonna get a new place to play.
They're
The not
moving
Red Stars.
yeah, they are moving to the University of Northwest, whichever one is not in Maryville, Missouri.
Yes, no, they're moving to Evanston, Illinois, which is just as, huh? Where is that? As Maryville, Missouri. Um,
Yeah, I thought that meant Indiana. I saw they're moving to Evanston. I thought it was like in Indiana, quite honestly, at first.
Evansville is the big Evans something city in the central, very flat, boring state that starts with I. That is Indiana. Evanston is the one that is in Illinois and is a northern burb of Chicago. Um, it's like, have you seen the stadium, Thad?
The one there, right there on the lake. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. I personally not a fan of it. Um, I don't think like it's yes, you're moving downtown with a view towards skylines and on a college campus and all that. But I don't know that this moves the needle for them in that sense.
Well, are
Playing
they
on
planning on
turf,
upgrades? Are they planning on upgrades? Are they moving to
that's
another
the
stadium?
question. That's the question for Northwestern University because it's owned by them, you know, like it's not like this is their own stadium. This is the University of Northwestern Stadium that they're moving their lease basically from Bridgeview, which is slightly above a dump of a soccer specific stadium, um, and moving it to a very pretty view with a very non-functional stadium setup. So not I don't I like the majority of the stands are behind the goal. There's like nothing on the sides and nothing, of course, on the lakeside. So I don't know. I just
It feels
as a
a little
Chicago
bit.
person, I don't Chicago person. I spent 4 years there for college. Did not. It is just the not good. It is not good.
It feels like moving out. I understand that they're trying to potentially get younger demographics to come watch the games, but it does feel slightly like they are taking a step back in how far the NWSL has come in terms of stadiums. And
Yeah.
I understand the Bridgeview was terrible, but they're going back to a college campus, which is where a lot of the NWSL teams started out at least FCKC did at UMKC.
Well, the FCKC started at a high school, moved up to a
Oh, you're
college,
right.
and then
Sorry, I
moved
was
to Swope
thinking the
Park.
second year.
Yes.
You're right.
Yeah. I just think like you're moving away from natural grass and a large stadium that you can sell a lot more tickets in, and like
It is a real
unless
soccer
the
stadium.
lease, yes, and as annoyingly built and not as functional as it can be at times, it still is significantly much better of a soccer stadium than this thing. So
Yeah.
I just it's I understand that you probably needed to make a move out of Bridgeview because but they're also I just don't know that this is the right spot. But I also don't know what other spots would have been open for them too. So it's
That's
just
the problem. There's not other
it's a
spots.
it's a really tough get. And that is kind of the this is where the striation of clubs and the NWSL begins. And it's the owners that are willing to either pony up for facilities, or are in positions where they can actually um, stadium share with other teams that might be owned by the same ownership group, aka Seattle, Houston, all that kind of stuff. So Orlando, um, yeah, not good
And,
in my opinion.
all right. So, is there any plan for them to move on after that point? Because I thought there was like at least a little talk about this as a stepping stone to another stadium, but is that not the case?
This is they've only announced it for the 2026 season. Chicago Fire has said they are going to have a stadium for the 2027 season, I believe.
Okay.
If they can make the jump with Chicago Fire, it works in everyone's favor. But the question is, will their ownership make an effort to at least attempt to join the Fire as a tenant?
Yeah,
That
and
is best case scenario for Chicago Stars at the moment.
it probably would be the best case scenario, which I think is what I was hearing was that might be the case because I remember as remembering something I just couldn't quite pull it out there. If this is a more permanent solution, there has to be ways that they can add stands on one side or do something to make it more effective. And if it's a college campus, can they sell beer? That's a issue with at least some places. Some places it's not. So there's just like different issues, a lot of different issues when you're on a college campus versus being a regular stadium that you control the ownership of, or somebody else can.
They did have 10,000 fans in last week's game against Orlando.
How many can they put into this new stadium?
Well, that was at the stadium, I believe.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, that's what that game was for.
Okay. Can anybody kick a ball into the lake? Will they have the first lake ball?
You'd have to do like a full throttled Kayla Sharples or Haley Mace like blast clearance to like the umpteenth row to do it. But possible.
That should be like a thing now. Every stadium should have a first river ball, a first lake ball, a first
a water feature to gimmick. Yes. Why not?
Doesn't have to be a water feature. It can be specific to whatever place it is. I mean, the first one to hit it into, the woods in Portland. I don't know, something.
It's kind of hard to do in a downtown stadium, but sure.
Yeah, well, it's something. I mean, yeah, there has to be something. The first
Put
one
it
to
to
hit
the trees.
The first one to hit the fifth floor of the skyscraper next door. Something.
Put it in the pool of the gym that's on the top floor of the skyscraper that's across the street from.
Now you're getting
stadium
ridiculous.
There we go. Things that actually exist in the place, though, Thad. That's where.
Well, I don't know. I haven't been there. I don't care. I'm just saying that specific to something close to that stadium. I was just rambling out weird shit. I mean, if you're downtown St. Louis, can you hit a crack den from your when you kick it out?
I will say this, like the location of where this stadium is supposed to be in Chicago, the new one as well, should be along the Chicago River, in the South Loop. So like this is 100% the ability to boot the ball out of a 22,000 seat stadium and across maybe 3 city blocks wide into the Chicago River.
Yeah, but that one is also a square and it has like roofs that come over it. It's not exactly closed.
Is there like an open space they can shoot it through?
They would have to go directly. It's gonna be a steep angle.
Steep angle from the side too. I mean, it's nearly impossible. We're just having fun here. But anyways,
if you could get it up onto the roof, maybe it could just bounce on and
for 3 blocks.
Okay, let's move on.
Wait, the attendance was the highest that it's been this season, but also notably, it beat out the prior football match that was there. The attendance. So
well, Northwestern is known for being a football juggernaut, so that is.
Oh, just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm messing with you. Yeah, it's a weird spot because Northwestern is in the middle of it's Northwestern's pop-up stadium for their football team, basically, because they're building a major addition and doing like KU level transformation of a very old stadium for Northwestern football. So
can they glom onto that one if necessary?
I mean, again, you're sharing it with the college football team that needs it in your most crucial months of the season, so probably no.
All right, there's an easy trivia question for you two. There's two players from Northwestern on the current team. Who are they?
Kayla Sharples is one.
Vanessa?
No. She was Illinois. Oh, who is it? Is it Steigletter?
Yes.
That's right. Yes. I knew it was Sharples for sure. I couldn't remember the other one. I was between Laurel Ivory and
She went to Virginia.
yeah. I remember looking it up recently for Ivory and I was like,
Little off. Chicago
nope,
to
wasn't that it?
Virginia.
Nope. Reagan Steigletter went there.
All right. So earlier you mentioned a flat state with an I in it, Indiana. Are all I states flat?
Yeah, I mean, no, Idaho. Idaho
There you go.
is very mountainous and also very flat in some portions, but not very many.
They got the hilly portions of all the other three I states.
Yes, that's for sure.
All right.
Iowa
had nothing to do with soccer. But
had nothing to do with soccer. Flat as heck. Illinois, flat as heck. Indiana, flatter than the other two somehow. So,
all right. And since you reside in Kansas, you don't have a lot of room to talk about flat states. Statistically flatter than an actual pancake. But
correct.
All right, other news. There's been some player moves. Alyssa Thompson, big move. How much
on
money?
to Chelsea. It's like 1 million USD or a little over it. Did not break the record, that's for sure.
And if it did, it would have been broken a few days later. Because as we told Sperry before podcasting.
I'm saying the international transfer record.
Oh, sorry. But I was more focused that we had to break news to you.
You did. Go ahead. Clown on me now.
Jaden Shaw going to Gotham for 1.25 million.
Crazy.
It's just amazing that she was not happy where she was at and needed to move. Was there another move that was just came out? Because I you told me another one that I didn't know. I knew the Jaden Shaw one.
Neely Martin.
Yes. Went to Angel City.
So trades before trade deadlines. I don't know when the trade deadline actually is. So
yeah, who knows?
It was fun watching the Gotham FC crash out after Neely Martin announced that she was leaving or whatever. Since she was the makeshift goalkeeper for that final that they won.
The fan base there very unhappy.
They always are.
Well, yeah, that's true.
After the national team jump in players and then half of them are gone.
Yeah. They sometimes bringing in a lot of really good players does not result in a really good team. You have to build those things. Sperry, you looked like you were about to speak a couple times and then you stopped.
Yeah, I mean, I just NWSL fans and okay, I won't say this. I won't single this out to NWSL fans because all sports fans, I think, do this with their quote unquote fan favorites. But like, there's anybody that has like a remotely endearing moment to your club, yet or like personality or something like that, but at the same time, like may not be better than the player that you're receiving, like home fans will be absolutely distraught about the player that's leaving. And that just is the case. The amount of people that were like distraught at the idea that Willie Agata might be leaving Sporting Kansas City, only to go have a 17 goal scorer replace him. It's pretty darn good. And you know, gosh, I was going through this with my mom in baseball. She was complaining about a player that the Giants traded away, and I was like, Mom, they're old. They're keeping young, talented players from playing, and this team isn't winning right now. Now they traded him away, and the Giants are winning. The Royals kind of haven't been with this player that they acquired, although he's been fun for the Royals. much more fun than he was in San Francisco at the time. But like, it's just how I don't know. It's just how things go, and
I mean, it's fandom. We all have our favorite players that we don't want to see leave.
we do.
I mean, I've talked fondly about wanting players to come back to teams sometimes after they've left, and I'm to the point now I don't want anybody to come back to a team because it almost never works out well. But we've seen this with the current, with Loetta leaving, Kate Del Fava,
Lynn
I
Williams.
think there's
Lynn Williams getting traded
Yeah.
away. It's a head scratcher, and
paid off 3 years later really well.
yep.
Um,
Although Lynn did go win the championship that year, so
yeah, yeah. Didn't matter if they kept Lynn; they were not winning the championship, so it didn't matter. That's a long-term trade, just like the Sentner trade is a long-term trade. Even though she'll pay off in the short run, she should pay off in the long run even more if they know her abilities correctly. But it's every fandom does that. So,
all right.
Anything else?
Quick
other news?
fire Don Temwa on the KC current roster, who makes everybody more distraught that they trade away or leaves the club. Non Temwa or Low, because that's a reasonable crash out.
Who would
Probably
make KC
Cooper
fans
at
more
this
distraught?
age. I would say Cooper probably because we've seen her grow into this role.
That's fair.
And also she's like Lowe's right-hand woman for chants and cheers.
Shenanigans. Yeah.
Yes.
And enforcer.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of inherited Desi's destroyer role in many ways.
Yep.
I mean, for me, I would, after you excluded Timwa, Cooper would probably be the one that I would say that I would hate to see leave, because I think she just has so much impact for the team. But then it might be after that, it might be Izzy, Claire, because I mean Claire might actually be right there. Because I just think she has so much growth potential that she can dominate that midfield over the next 8 years or so,
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Good answers.
I've seen people on like Reddit like, why is Pfeiffer not playing? They need to trade her if she's not playing. No, they really don't.
Nope.
She's 17 now and healing and getting experience, and she'll get some game time and probably play some time with twos, and she'll be a force to reckon with when older players that people will be very upset with leaving, like Bia, Dabinia, maybe Nichelle Prince, players like that. Her and Long and some others will get some definite playing time.
Yeah.
Who would
Like
you,
Sperry.
Would I crash out? It would like a player like Hutton or Cooper, if it was a trade, I'd have to say this too. It would have to be for me, it would have to be a trade where like they wanted out, where I would be like, whoa, this is not good. What's going on here? Kind of a thing. For a player like Cooper or Hutton, like if Chelsea or Lyon or Arsenal or like somebody like that like comes in and wants to break another transfer record to take them, like I don't know, if you're the current, you say thank you for the business probably, unless you're really set on it. I mean, you gotta, with the way the salary cap is, like just kind of the whole thing with the Alyssa Thompson thing, like with the way the salary cap is, you gotta kind of take that and this whole transfer funds net negative positive thing that they're trying to do over the course of years and stuff. Like you gotta make sure that like you're like you make sure that you have wiggle room, you have funds, you have things to do. So I think those are things that you consider if the right thing comes along and the player wants it. But at the same time, I don't see the current being an environment that players routinely want out of anymore.
No.
And I think it would have to be some like Izzy would probably be one of the big ones for me, just because I think she has a very, very good future as a attack-minded fullback, and wide. Like you can't get enough players that can put a ball on a platter like she can. And that's kind of a trait that is very special for the Current at the moment.
And especially left backs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I named her as like one of them, because she would be so difficult to replace. And just the attitude, the personality, the likability, all of those factors make her not like a superstar player, like everybody's gonna like be clamoring to get her jersey, like Lowood or something, but she is right up there as a player that will make a team better by far, and just seems like a really great team player.
Yep.
I also see that with Claire though, but she has that same kind of capability, and I would not want to see anybody again if they went out for some reason, they go, and but pretty much Modern, if Chelsea calls and they don't want to go, they're not selling them probably. So.
Correct.
Any other like trivia questions? This is Carrie's time to ask trivia and complicated questions. All right. Last chance. 1, 2, 3. We are out.